This arrest was placed on the curriculum vitae status quota of the Green River Killer Documentary Directors Guild, DGA, Film Directors Repertoire, as he is the county sheriff, Reichert, who authored and filmed the documentary of his own while working on the case of the Green River Killer for many years, at least a decade. Rachel attended in 1998 and is currently a Spanish student online through distant learning since the 40th Grammys, starting the registered nursing program to become a psychiatrist, only to fulfill a few credits regarding skilled nursing and phlebotomy in 1998. Who authored and filmed the documentary Publishing, which is County Sheriff Reichert, publishing a briefing on capturing the Green River Killer, whereas Mrs. Ostorga, Rachel, myself, the widow, in Los Angeles, California, nearly 15 years later, suffers the homicide of her newlywed husband, Moises, quote-unquote, Mises Pieces, Jose Ostorga. In Los Angeles, California, nearly 15 years later, suffers the homicide of her newlywed husband, who was brought into the country during the Trump administration, and while Rachel, accompanied by Colombians, supported the country of El Salvador with a huge El Salvadorian flag and country maid's uniform, which is where her husband came from. And while attending the Miss Universe pageant, the Axis Theater, where victims were shot in front of Rachel's taxi limousine after attending the dress rehearsal alone, which was closed to the public as they were lacking in attendees. Whereas Steve Harvey hosted the live televised version and Rachel attended both events from Thursday to Sunday, traveling back and forth from Las Vegas using equipment provided from the AT&T Residential Services Corporation to record video footage of a missile museum in the mountains from Los Angeles County on into Las Vegas. Shortly thereafter, her husband was shot in front of the Central East downtown Los Angeles police station near and about 6th Street, according to the media, and according to a man with blonde dreadlocks and blue or gray eyes that used to ride in Mr. Ostorga's black Acura, walked up to the widow after the husband had come up missing for almost 4 days, which was extremely suspicious. The community would stare at the widow and finally sent this man, who usually works as a booster, collecting underpriced and clearanced items, riding a BMX bicycle, approached the bride and told her, "I'm sorry, your husband got shot." The AT&T cell phones provided by the Credit Corporation, a subsidiary to AT&T, provided the cell phones, which were worth $1,600, equipped with wiretaps and GPS locator systems, had monitored the whereabouts of her husband after the bride became suspicious that all of the tenants working as police informants, such as Vernetta Morgan, were transporting her husband using Folgers coffee, and some of those tenants are still currently residing on the property. She would leave her white SUV with ABBA Bail Bond sticker pasted to the back of her special vehicle, and she would leave her door unlocked, parked in front of the Abbey, so that after the tenants who were hoping to get an anal trafficking date with Mr. Ostorga would go out and collect stolen coffee and pile those items up in Vernetta Morgan's vehicle, opening the door underneath the bride's window all day long, waiting for butt-eating and anal trafficking dates, as the bride watched them from her bedroom window time and time over. Rape after rape after rape after rape in the bride's face, disrespectfully taking turns with the property management of New SLATE or New Hope Skid Row Housing Trust, with the assistant managers, the office managers, the counselors, case management, giving wish lists to the husband or to President Obama that they wanted a brand new car, a new Cadillac. They had dreams of their teenage daughter graduating from high school and graduating from college, and they just want to have her scholarship all put together before it's too late, before they get too old. What's going to happen shortly thereafter? And so on and so forth. They transmitted the AIDS virus to him. They transmitted a venereal disease to the head of his penis. And his young wife treated every one of those. However, the HIV and the AIDS, he did not want his wife to find out about. He was such a good person that he wanted to make certain he did not infect his wife. A smart guy, a caring guy. There are still people wandering this property currently who have actually gotten rid of and killed black men they were engaged to get married to after they noticed I was celebrating my husband in the form of an obituary, and to them they're not black, and to them I'm a slave Negro or a colored slave of the white American. So they murdered and injected their own black fiancés who they were stepping on top of my head on the property day in and day out, pretending in the drug use and addiction community that they're actually the wife of my dead husband. And you would wonder, how can he be married to so many people? Well, he's not. I'm his first wife, and I was his only wife. He did have children, and he never got married to her. And he made those babies in El Salvador. I have a mother-in-law who is in the country of El Salvador, and a father-in-law who is in the United States. I am a widow, and the one thing my husband would never want me to do is to be mean to people. This is the only reason I'm nice to you. The only reason I don't confront you about having sex with my husband is because my husband says he does not commit adultery. The reason my husband married me and did not marry you is because I listened to him, and you are a whore, non-existent. However, because you love my husband, I will never harm you, and I will never hurt you because you love my husband. I know you love my husband. I can see this in your eyes. Therefore, I am not jealous. And do you want to know why? The reason I married my husband is because he's gorgeous. He was gorgeous when I met him. He was gorgeous when I made a fool of myself walking up the street and using an icebreaker, pretending to be a whore, requesting a dollar bill and a translator. We were drawn to each other instantly. I had been locked up in my room for ages. There's no privacy anywhere in the city of Los Angeles. Everyone's out to get what they want to get for themselves. But they've met their match. Because whatever Lola wants, Lola gets. Right now, I want to get my education. If only I were a little bit smarter. I was born wanting to get my education, and I'll die wanting to get my education. This is the pursuit of the American dream, and that dream is not dead. Fun is also alive. And we are not old. We are the children of young people that mentored us. They're not even old yet, so how could we possibly be old? Getting inspired is easy. Suppressing and suffocating something to snatch and inherit their identity is a grave disability and a grave moral sin with consequences. When you follow me around sometimes with your little bouncy, silky red hairs and carrying your baby with your little blonde hair and pouting with a pouty face, I know you miss my husband. That's why I kissed you on your forehead and wished you good luck with the baby that you were pregnant with. I hope you raise him up to be one of the most precious babies ever. Good luck, and make sure you go to his high school graduation. Encourage him to become a businessman. Encourage him to be a successful businessman. And if you had a daughter, for the ones that did, change your life. Make sure your daughter knows what she's about, and make sure she grows up to have a happy marriage. I know you miss my husband, and just know he's not living in me. He's living in everyone, in everything. So be happy. But just know, killing things is why you are sad. And you're even more sad because I'm still celebrating him, and I have not one guilty ounce of conscience. You're trying to figure out which boat you came off of for the moment in the spotlight. But I'm not going to be too harsh on you because my husband wouldn't want me to. Everything is because, well, poor KC.